Welcome back to the show, Theater Back Live. We just heard from Susie Vinnick, who's coming to town with that wonderful trio. So live arts are back and they're flourishing more than ever. And what I love about this segment is the fact that this has been a show that's been going on for almost a decade, and now it has its home right here in Ottawa, and it feels like it's the right place for it to be because it's called O Canada A, and it's a wonderful musical. Here to tell us more about it, I am joined by Maria Ritchie, the CEO of Totally Legit Productions. Welcome, Maria. Great to have you here.
Good to be here.
This is a great story that you have because you went to this show, what, some 26, 27 years ago, am I right?
I mean, when I was 10, yes. We traveled to Niagara Falls with my family. I have kids ranging at that time from 14 years old down to 4 years old.
Okay.
And 3 girls, 1 boy. You find something to do that they're all going to enjoy. We stumbled across O Canada A in Niagara Falls, and I had 2 hours of peace, which was amazing. And then that continued. We took friends there over the years, loved it. My daughter ended up going to performing arts school, graduated, performed there. I've seen this show hundreds of times. She met her husband on the stage of O Canada A,
this is a great
and
story.
then we brought it here to Ottawa. So it's got roots with us for sure.
So yeah, how did that come to be? How did you end up getting the rights to it and bringing it here to the nation's capital?
Well, the folks who own O Canada A or owned O Canada A in Niagara loved my daughter and son-in-law, and reached out to them to see if they might be interested in coming back. They pitched maybe we'd license it and run it here in Ottawa.
Okay.
We did it for 6 weeks in 2019. It was sold out crowds. It was fantastic. So we licensed it with them, and then unfortunately we opened on Friday, March 13th and closed on the 15th. A couple days later, and the poor folks in Niagara just didn't make it through but we were able to buy the rights and bring it here and continue it on. And I know you said a decade, but it's actually 3 decades.
3 decades.
Coming
That's
up
right.
on
Almost 30 years.
almost 30 years of this fun and entertainment. So.
And I guess you've kind of put your own spin on it. And you and I in our conversation earlier, you're talking about this is the perfect city to have something like this because we're so diverse, we're so multicultural, and you've got this spotlight idea that you've brought in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, Ottawa is kind of pitching itself as Canada in one city, which it really is. And we want Canada in one show, but you got 2 hours. And so how do you put in all that food, fun, entertainment, and still celebrate all those things Canadian? So the idea of Spotlight was Ottawa has such a great festival and events industry. So if we tap into that, we can bring just a little taste, it's just a little bit of those particular cultures and communities into the show, give people, our guests, something free and fun on top of the show, and expose them a little bit to those cultures so that they can then pursue some of those other activities that are going on in the city. So.
And your latest Spotlight is Mexico.
Our first one. This is our pilot.
Oh, this is your first one. Okay, excellent. Yeah. And you did that throughout the month of March. I guess it was so successful. You had such a great feedback. Yeah. You've decided to carry it on in April, right?
We've got 2 more dates on the 13th and the 27th, and so then that's a wrap for Mexico for now.
The show itself, it's a great mix of a lot of different things. Tell everybody at home what that mix looks like.
Well, it's really celebrating all things Canadian. So it's and through the eyes of Canada's music, either songs written by Canadians or made famous by Canadians. You got 70+ songs that our crew take you through, and our performers are actually your servers as well. So the dinner isn't first and then you see a show. The dinner is the show is dinner. It's this great, fantastic time. 4-course meals served throughout the show. And yeah, we've got a little bit of, kitschy, jokey kind of Canadian stuff that we celebrate and poke fun at. And you're in this beautiful log cabin that we've made over on the 2nd floor at 330 Kent Street.
Is that the Legion there?
It's the Legion downstairs, and we took over the entire 2nd floor.
Nice.
It's Pierre's cabin, and so you get to come in and have just a wonderful time with Pierre and his crew.
I imagine interactive too, because as you said, and I love that you're doing this because I think that style of dinner theater, it was so popular for a long time, and it kind of went away for a while.
It did.
That interactive theater, what's that like? What's that experience like for audiences?
It's a fantastic experience because you don't realize the time that goes by so quickly.
Right.
Like from the time you sit down till 2 hours hours later, your toes are tapping, your hands are clapping, and you are engaged with the performers. And it doesn't matter what age you are. You can be, 2 to 102. You're going to love this show. And it's just, it's actually my personal favorite thing is to stand at the door and listen to the stories of folks as they're walking out and the fun that they've had.
I can imagine, right? Because it's one of those shows that, I mean, even though you've had dinner and probably enjoyed a beverage, you're probably going out to have another beverage to talk about the experience you just had,
you
right?
May very well
and
be.
That's, that makes for a great show. You brought a couple of things along with you here. What have you got here?
Well, from the Mexican Spotlight, what we're doing with that is celebrating some of the music, the food, the song. You get a little mariachi band. You got some wonderful Mexican dances going on, and it's all done through the lens of the Day of the Dead Festival.
Okay.
So I didn't even realize about the Day of the Dead Festival here and down. It's held down in the Byward Market. It's a free
we've
festival.
Had them on the show.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. Fabiola, she's fantastic. Our partner that we partnered up with. So part of what you get is a delicious dessert that you can take home with you, which is the pan de mort, which is this Day of the Dead bread.
Right.
And we also, I don't know if you know this, Trivial Pursuit is Canadian.
Yes.
So 88
Great
million copies sold, over 88 million. You've got, 27 countries, 17 different languages it's been. And so I thought, well, if we're going to do Mexico celebration, let's make some Mexican trivia cards.
Okay.
So I thought might be fun to try. You've been to Mexico.
I just got back recently, yeah.
Thought we'd try out a little Mexican trivia on you if you're up for it.
I'm usually not very good at trivia, I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I know
one of
these ones I think you're not going to get, but other than that, you probably will. So, official language of Mexico?
Spanish.
Correct. What does the Mexican song and dance La Bamba symbolize?
I think it's love.
You got it.
Okay.
And I gave it away a few minutes ago, but you knew anyways, the month that the Day of the Dead is celebrated in Mexico.
It's November, isn't it?
Correct,
okay.
But end of October here in Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's one for you. What is the Spanish word for altar?
And this is the one I knew I wouldn't get. It's not coming to me.
Ofrenda.
Ofrenda.
Yeah.
Ofrenda.
So, but you know what I'd like to do?
What's that?
You did pretty good, and you can come back and try again at the show. So I'd like to give you a pair of tickets to the O Canada
Oh my
musical.
goodness!
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? You've got shows April 13th and the 27th for the Spotlight on Mexico, and of course it's ongoing throughout.
It's ongoing.
The
we run right
year.
now about 3 nights a week in the summer, 5 to 6 nights a week.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Visit the website. Make sure you get your tickets. It's just an amazing show. We'll be right back after this.